The presence, the presence, the presence. Presence is here. The presence is here. Love and spirit prevail on each face. The presence is here. The presence is here. I will meet you in grace. The presence is here. The presence is here. Love and spirit prevail on each face. The presence is here. Amen. The presence is here. I will meet you in grace.
All right, beloveds, let's all stand and sing with them. God is my source is our first song.
Here we go. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. And I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. Love is my source. Love is my power. Love gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Love gives me everything I need. Joy. Joy is my source. Joy is my power. Joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Joy gives me everything I need. Peace is my source. Clap your hands. Peace is my power. Peace gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. Peace gives me everything I need. Love is my source. God is my source. Love is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. One more time. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. Big Andy. Spirit. You hold the power. I can change my thoughts. Employ the power of Spirit. I can go within. Employ the power of Spirit. Peaceful planet. Peaceful people. Peaceful spirit. I hold the power. You hold the power. We hold the power. Peaceful planet. Peaceful people. Powerful spirit. Glory.
All right, my friends, while you're on your feet, I invite you to please turn to those around you and offer the Namaste greeting. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste, our Zoomers. Hello, we love you. Namaste. All right, wow. How about the band? Woo! Right? Wonderful. Good morning, beloveds. Namaste. I'm so glad you're here with us today. My name is Reverend Elizabeth Rowley Hogue, and if you're here for the first time, I want you to know that I'm the spiritual director and senior minister here. Good morning, Zoomers. We love you. Thank you for joining us. Namaste. And I would like to welcome you all to Awakening Ways spiritual community, where all that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of awakening to the loving heart, the inspired mind, and the sacred soul present in every life. We are an independent New Thought community, and we follow the teachings of Ernest Holmes. Welcome home. We've been waiting for you. So we have something new today that we're adding in, and it's an affirmation. And so I'm going to invite you to please repeat after me. Good and more good is mine.
Good and more good is mine.
An ever-increasing good is mine.
Ever-increasing good is mine.
There is no limit to the good which is mine.
There is no limit to good.
And so it is.
And so it is.
All right, if you'll now take a moment to silence your cell phones, but first, check in on Facebook, and our practitioner of the day will come up as you do this. Linda, come on up.
It worked. Okay. Oh, yes. Oh, thank you. Much better. It's warm in here. I'm going to do a reading from Ernest Holmes, This Thing Called You, and then an invocation. So, today I recognize the abundance of life. I animate everything in my experience with this idea. I remember only the good. I accept only the good. This is all I experience. I give thanks that this good is flowing in ever-increasing volume. I say to my mind, there is good enough to go around. I do not withhold that good from myself or others, but proclaim that spiritual substance is forever flowing to each and to all as daily supply. So So if you're comfy, you can go ahead and close your eyes. There is only one power, one mind, one life, one perfect intelligence that created all life out of itself. We each may have a special name for this one, but it is not the name that is important. What is important is to know that this one created everything, everywhere, all in all God, always. I am a perfect light of the divine. God is in me, as me, is me. All that I do is spirit manifesting itself as me, Linda. As this is true for me, this is true for each and every person, here, everywhere. We are perfect lights of the divine. We are the consciousness of the universe. We are the health of spirit. We are the love of God. I know this to be the truth of who we are. I am so grateful we have this place, Awakening Ways, to remind us of these truths, for sometimes we forget. And I'm so grateful that all is well. So I release my words of love, into the law that only knows to do. Doesn't have to think about it, it just does. And so together, let's say, and so it is.
Woo-hoo! All right. Celebration. Singing in congregation is a vocal celebration. Yeah, it is. Using your imagination is a mental celebration. Celebrate family gratefully. Celebrate life. Celebrate love. Every day, in every way. Being alive is a cause for celebration. So celebrate. Celebration. Every sensation is a physical celebration. So clap your hands. Peaceful meditation. Oh, it's a silent celebration. Celebrate unity. You and me. Celebrate life. Celebrate love. Every day, in every way. Being alive is a cause for celebration. So celebrate. Celebration. Break it down. Come on, Ron Gallagher, give us a solo. Glory! All right. Shake it down. Every situation is a chance for celebration for you. Even aggravation is a teaching celebration. Celebrate miracles and musicals. Celebrate life. Celebrate love. Every day, in every way. Being alive is a cause for celebration. So celebrate. Celebration. Life's a celebration. So celebrate. Little bit louder now. Life's a celebration. So celebrate. Like you mean it. Life's a celebration. So celebrate.
Woo! Wow. Thank you. So amazing. Let's give them some more love. Woo! I mean, that's better than coffee, right? Got to get up and celebrate. So fabulous. Hello, beloveds. Let me just look at you. I see some new faces here. I don't want to go too far, though. Got out of the screen. Hi. Whoa. Wow. Hello, beloveds. So good to see your faces, part of your faces anyway. So good to see your eyes. Tammy, yay. What a beautiful day, right? Wow. So if you're just tuning in, a reminder that I'm Reverend Elizabeth Rowley Hogue, and I'm the spiritual director and senior minister here. Welcome. We're grateful that you're here. Thank you. And so it's October already. Wow. Welcome to October. And so we have a new seed of awakening for this month. If you haven't guessed it by now, I will tell you that it's abundance. And so I know that you've probably heard a lot about abundance already, and it's always good to reignite that within us, yes? And so that's what we're up to, and the talk title I have for today is Abundance, Prosperity, and Wealth. Oh my. And so I wanted to begin first by just jumping right into kind of the distinctions of the two, the definitions of abundance versus prosperity and wealth, right? So abundance, we want to remember, is the inner thing. It's the principle, the cause, the absolute, the intangible aspect, right? It's the opposite of scarcity. And I love what Alan Cohen says about abundance. Like, let's do abundance. Versus going to scare city. We're going to stay out of scarcity and do our abundance, all right? All of October, we're going to do abundance. And so prosperity is the outer thing, right? It's the effect of knowing our abundance, of tuning into our abundance. It is the relative, tangible aspect. And then wealth is like prosperity. It's about well-being and health. So you're wealthy, you have well-being in your finances and in your mental garden, right? You have wealth. And so going a little bit deeper with that, abundance is defined as an extremely plentiful or over-sufficient quantity or supply, in overflowing fullness, right? Can you get that? Are you catching that? That sense of the overwhelming fullness, abundance. Now, this definition does not specify form, only a degree that implies more than enough. This is because abundance is a principle that goes beyond form. It's a universal principle of more than enough of whatever one can conceive. Abundance is absolute potential available to whoever can actualize it by transforming pure potential into a solid reality. That's a lot of words, right? And so if you imagine with me a pie, any pie, cherry pie, pizza, whatever, whatever your pie of choice is. Imagine you've got this pie. I guess a cherry pie is not going to be that big, but you get the idea. So we're going to take one slice of that pie, and that one slice of the pie is everything that you know. And it's everything that you know, right? You know it, and you know that you know it. Like, you probably know your name, and you know that you know your name, for example, yes? And so then there's another piece of the pie that is everything that you don't know. Now, this piece of the pie is everything that you know that you don't know, okay? So you've got one slice of pie that's everything that you know that you know. The second slice of pie is everything that you know that you don't know. Like, I don't know how to do brain surgery, and I know that I don't know how to do brain surgery, so don't call me to do brain surgery. I don't know how to do it, right? Maybe something within me knows, and it could be ignited and learned, but in this moment, I know that I don't know. You with me? Now, well, what happens with the rest of the pie, right? The rest of the pie is everything else. That's everything that we don't know that we don't know. And so in the rest of the pie is infinite potentiality and unlimited possibility. It is the divine. It is the unseen. It is the invisible presence that is everywhere. So hold on to that thought, right? And now looking at prosperity, so prosperity is a successful, flourishing, or thriving condition. In other words, prosperity is a condition, not a principle. It is the effect or manifestation of abundance materializing in a specific form and degree. The inclination of most people is to think of prosperity as money or material possessions, which that's part of it, right? That's a part of it. However, it's far more than that, as we know. We can prosper in a multitude of other ways, can we not? Such as, you might have an abundance of talent, you might have an abundance of wonderful, nurturing relationships, an abundance of inner peace, an abundance of good health. What else? Abundance of creativity, right, you got it. And so abundance of love, yes, totally. And so there is an abundance of so much, right? And we have an abundance of time to enjoy all of it, yes? That's my thing right now. I have all the time in the world. So the point is of those two distinctions is that as we deepen our sense of what prosperity is and what it isn't, we'll see that irrespective of how we define it, with the proper understanding of the relationship between abundance and prosperity, the portal to a whole new world of possibilities opens up before us. So simply put, abundance is the causative principle of more than enough, and prosperity is the exquisite effect. So the question is, which one do you tend to focus more fully on, the cause or the effect? As we shall discover, we can't have one without the other. So the secret to life lies in knowing which one comes first and giving that our primary attention. Now we can train our thinking minds to focus on the principle of abundance, and then we can experience the effect as prosperity. Now, what was coming to my mind as this sermon was being written, right, was the lake. And so we see this lake out here, Atascadero Lake, for those of you on Zoom. And I know it fluctuates, right? It fills up, and then it depletes through weather, and if there's a drought or whatever is occurring. And then we can't help but notice the effect, right? And so what we're called to do as spiritual beings having a human experience that we are is to tune in to this principal cause of abundance. In other words, pray for rain, right? And see it as full. Rather than admiring and consistently speaking of the lack or going into scarcity, we do our little bun dance, right? It's also called a rain dance. And Jimmy and his band sing about the rain, and it works. It always works. It's amazing, but it's expected, right? So we can train our thinking minds to focus on this principle of abundance. And that means we tune into it. I call it KGOD. It's fun for me because I think about tuning into a radio station. And you tune in, and if you're not tuned into the station totally, they're static, and you can't quite hear the song. And it's frustrating, right? Or when you're like going through a city limits and it's changing stations, and you hear part of your song and part of the next station on the next frequency. Right? We're tuning into abundance and tuning out the other sound frequencies, the other things that are trying to pop into our minds. And so now I would love us to consider some things that there is an abundance of, right? Think of things that you can't count. What are some things that you know there's like so much of it, but you just can't count it? Grains of sand. Leaves, stars, molecules of oxygen, drops of water, geese, right? What are you pointing at? Birds. Caterpillars. Oh, right, yeah. You got to look out for those caterpillars, for sure. Right. So we tune into that, right? And we begin to open up our minds and become available to the extended infinite potentiality of the universe. There's so much more happening than what's happening right in front of me, in other words. So much more. We cannot name it, but we know it. And so this is where the beautiful statements come to mind, like, I may not know the answer, but something within me does. Because I know that I'm connected and directed by Source, and that while my intellect may not have the answer, Spirit within me has the answer. That's how I became the finder of things. That's a whole other sermon, though. We'll talk about that later. All right, so abundance is the cause, and prosperity is the effect, right? Now, let's get clear on the source of our supply. This is a fun one, too. God is the source of my supply. God is the source of our supply. So repeat after me. God is the source of my supply. God is the source of my supply. One more time. God is the source of my supply. Not my job. Not the EDD. Not my bank account. Not my 401k. Not the Social Security Administration. God is the source of my supply. Beautiful. And so what thank you. And so what that means is, as I tune into Spirit, if I start to feel a sense of scarcity or lack or fear, I tune into this presence of Spirit and allow it to expand my mind, right? I tune in to principle and I begin to see it everywhere. It's kind of like when your friend says, hey, I just bought a new red Tesla. And you go out and you go for a drive with them and you're like, wow, this Tesla's awesome and it is so beautiful. Whoa. You know, it's, I love this Tesla. Wow. And then you leave and you go on about your week. All of a sudden you see red Teslas everywhere, right? There's a red Tesla. There's, wow. Did everybody go out and buy a red Tesla this weekend? What happened, right? It's because now that's in your awareness, whereas before it wasn't in your awareness. And so the same is true for our recognition of the principle of abundance. So look for what is flourishing everywhere. And join me throughout this month of October in looking for what is flourishing everywhere. We're going to see Halloween stuff everywhere. That's flourishing right now, right? Fall decorations, we're going to see that everywhere. And we're going to see candy. I was at the store the other day, and there was an abundance of Halloween candy. I just said no, but there was a lot of it, I was like, wow, I see it everywhere. So make it fun, right? If you have a journal, you can write down, or maybe in the notepad on your phone, anytime you see something flourishing, just make a note of it. Like, oh, that's flourishing. Or if you're not one to stop and make notes, mental notes are okay too. But if you have a list, like a running list, then you can go back and look at that list. When you feel like you might be going into scarcity, you can look at this list and be reminded of what is flourishing. There's so much flourishing, right? Like this is a group of flourishing people right now. We are rocking, And so that's a fun homework assignment. Should you choose to accept it, that is your mission for the week. And thank you, Jan. So I want to talk about invisible power, right? So you may have heard this before, invisible power, which is the law. Now, our invisible power is everywhere. There's one presence, one power, one life, one God, and this presence is everywhere. Now, in physics, they talk about the non-local field or string theory, which tells us that what looks like the space between us and the wall, what looks like emptiness is actually solid. It's filled with dancing wavelengths of filaments of light, wavelengths of possibility. It's filled with what Wallace Wattles calls, in his famous book, The Science of Getting Rich, the thinking stuff. So there's this thinking stuff or substance that is filling and permeating all of this space, this seeming space around us. Looks like there's a lot of space, but there's something happening here, right? So that a thought that is impressed into this substance is like putting your fist into Play-Doh, or you've seen those little pin things and you put your hand in it and it looks like the shape of your hand. And when you were a kid, you were like, whoa, that's cool. Right? It's like that. It's like that. Our thoughts are creating an impress. And so that means that we're molding or creating something, just like if we had aluminum foil and we were tasked with making something. That happens in foundations class. And you make something and then, ta-da, it's like a goose. All of a sudden, out of nothing, right? It leaves an impression. So all of the thoughts that we're thinking right now are leaving an impression, right? Now, we don't want to get superstitious. We can just let go, If sometimes I know we think thoughts and then we go, oh, no, don't think that. Cancel. And you can cancel those thoughts, but the call is for you to focus on what you want to create in your life, right? Focus on abundance. Focus on things that are flourishing, for example. Are you with me? All right. So thought that is impressed into this substance reveals itself as the thing impressed. What you're thinking about is creating your experience. What you're thinking about right now is creating your experience. That gives us a lot of responsibility, right? Which is good. Responsibility and inner power, right? So once you begin to play with these laws, then you begin to see the effects and how it works in your life. So try this at home. This is great practice. Now, Thomas Edison said, I know this world is ruled by infinite intelligence. Everything that surrounds us, everything that exists, proves that there are infinite laws behind it. There can be no denying this fact. It is mathematical in its precision. So when I think about invisible laws, I think of things like gravity, for example. It is working. We can't see gravity working, but it's working anyway, right? We're all here planted on the ground as the earth is spinning through space at really fast, let's just say that. It's going fast. We're spinning in a rotation that has us stand or be seated, right, and connected to the earth. But if it stopped rotating, we'd go flying out into space. That would be weird, right? So I'm glad that gravity is occurring and we're all here together right now. But it's working without me affirming it. Like, I don't have to say, oh, I know that gravity is working this morning and I'm going to step out of bed and all is well. Right? I mean, imagine if you had to do that. It's like, come on. I'm so grateful for this gravity thing. So it's working whether or not we see it. When I got up this morning, I didn't have to ask it to work in order to stand up. Or this envelope drops, right? And the envelope drops in the same way for all of us. All of us. It's not like the envelope will only drop for me and not you. It's working no matter what. So also, it was dark when I woke up this morning. We got up at 6, I think, and it was dark. So we turned on our light. Just counted on it to work, right? I mean, there's an invisible law in effect that brings light. We fully expect it to work, don't we? It's not like, again, I sure hope this light works when I turn it on. Just turn it on, and if for some reason it goes out, you replace the light bulb, and then it works again. It's like, wow. I mean, wow. I've got flourishing electricity here. So you turn it on, and you're actually not surprised when it comes on, right? You turn it on, you fully expect it to work. We're not surprised. We're surprised when it doesn't work. Or we're surprised, like, did you pay the bill? Or like, wait a minute, who's paying the bills here? Or, oh, we need a new light bulb, whatever. So how many of you have ever gotten on a plane in your life? Right? Most of you. So you got on a plane and you were fully expecting the invisible law of aerodynamics to work, right? So that this heavy thing, I mean, when you think about it, this heavy thing is actually going to fly through thin air, right? It's just going to fly through air, and you didn't have to pray about that. Maybe you had to pray for your own peace and calm, but you didn't have, it just works. So the point of all that is that these laws work. On the Wednesday check-in call, we talked about immutable laws, and there was a great conversation about that. Immutable laws are laws that don't change. They are, and they always have been, and they will always be. And there's probably even more laws that exist that we don't know about, and we continue to discover them. How cool is that? So these laws are mathematical in their precision. In other words, 2 + 2 is always, thank you. 1 + 1 is always, thank you. So this is called an invertible truth, right? It's invertible. It doesn't change by circumstance. 2 + 2 will be 4, whether it rains outside or snows, whether you're 7 or 70, whether you're Latino or German, right? It works. It doesn't change. So these laws are mathematically precise, invertible truths, which tells me we are dealing with a perfect system. We are dealing with a perfect system. So we can never sow one kind of seed and reap another kind of result, right? Like if you plant apple seeds, you're not going to get a pear tree or pears. I mean, you're going to get apples. And this is true for physical seeds that are planted and also for thought seeds that are planted. So moment by moment, conscious or unconscious in the mind that we think. And so I don't know about y'all, but when I came into this teaching, I was like, well, started studying Ernest Holmes, that is, and I didn't know, like, it was kind of like, well, I mean, what do I do when I have these negative thoughts, And it seemed like I had a lot more negative thoughts than positive thoughts. Can you imagine that? And it was like, well, I've got all this, and it was just like this way of being in the world that it was like wearing old clothes, And I didn't know quite how to do it. But then I discovered that, okay, it's not like I have to do anything with the other way of being or those other thoughts. But what I do need to do is spend my time coming up with new thoughts. And that is where you pick up a book. You come and listen to a sermon, right? You watch a spiritual movie. You engage in spiritual conversation with your friends and begin to form new beliefs and new thoughts and you have new neural pathways that are being formed, and the neurotransmitters are connecting in a different way. And that's also when you start like putting the cereal in the fridge because things are changing in your mind, right? Like suddenly you're tuned into abundance, and then it's fun. So anyway, it's true for physical seeds planted and also thought seeds planted, right? Moment by moment, conscious or unconscious. And so we want to fill our cup consciously. We want to do what we can to be aligned with spiritual truth, with the principle of abundance. Now, we are definitely called to be systematic, precise, and organized as we lay down a vision in harmony with what we would love to experience for ourselves and our lives. I mean, what would you love to experience in your life? Think about that. And then you begin to vision about that and speak about that with your friends and share that with your loved ones. Journal about it. Bring it into your meditation. Bring it into your prayer. Bring it out on your mindful moving meditation of walking or biking or whatever that is, right? Maybe you already do that. That's great. So I love a story that Genevieve Reverend shared in her book called Your Invisible Power. Have you heard of this book? Oh my goodness. Okay, we're going to have to get copies of this book. It's awesome. It's a real thin book. I love that. Real thin, easy to read. You can read it in a day. But she wanted to be a student of Thomas Troward. Are you familiar with Thomas Troward? Okay, so for those of you not familiar with Thomas Troward, he was a judge and a founding father of mental science and a new thought leader. And so there are classes that we teach around Thomas Troward, and very creative, right? And so anyway, Genevieve Reverend wanted to be a student of Thomas Troward, and she was determined. And she really learned, she figured it all out. She did the calculations and learned that she was going to need $20,000 to get to London, where Thomas Troward lived, and then she would need that much to live there while she was being his student, right? So she came up with this number. I'm going to need $20,000. No idea where she's going to get this $20,000. I mean, can you relate to that? I want to go to Hawaii. And then you just say, forget that. Look at your bank account and go, nope, it's not happening, right? But she had no idea where she was going to get this money. And she could think of no possibilities or options. But she continued to declare, it must be mine. This is mine to do. And she would affirm, I am all the substance there is, over and over again. I am all the substance there is. I am all the substance there is. Now, every night before going to sleep, she made a mental picture for the desired $20,000. She would count over 20 imaginary $1,000 bills. Every night before bed, she counted it as if it were real. And she wrote in her journal the story of her purchasing her steamer ticket and how she would walk up and down and get on the ship's deck and walk around the deck from New York to London, and how she finally met Thomas Troward and became his one and only student. He didn't have any students. I mean, who did she think she was, right? He didn't even take students, but she was determined this was hers to do. So she did this in the morning and evening, and then she added in the quote, my mind is the center of divine operation. And divine operation means expansion into something greater than has ever gone before. I'm going to say that again. She would repeat this, right, every morning and every evening. My mind is the center of divine operation. And divine operation means expansion into something greater than has ever gone before. Repeat after me. My mind is a center of divine operation. And divine operation means expansion into something greater than has ever gone before. And so it is. So she held these thoughts steady, impressing them into the invisible law, letting the power of attraction find its own ways and means to make it so. Then, when she learned of a possibility for the desired circumstance to come to fruition, she stepped with calm assurance toward it, leaving no stone unturned, right? Step by step, the desired $20,000 was secured. So the point for us in that story is to really stop and think, am I using my thoughts wisely, or are my thoughts using me? Now, how many of you have intrusive thoughts sometimes? Right? Sometimes those intrusive thoughts come, and we can counter them by consciously planting the thought seeds for what we would love to experience in our life. Yes? And so this brings me to one of my all-time favorite Ernest Holmes quotes, which is from an essay called Loose the Consciousness. It's the bottom of page 339 in Living the Science of Mind. And it says, good and more good is mine. In ever-increasing good is mine. There is no limit to the good which is mine. Everywhere I go, I see this good. I feel it. I experience it. It crowds itself against me, flows through me, expresses itself in me, and multiplies itself all around me. Thank you, Ernest Holmes. So powerful. Now, I want to let you know also that for the month of October, we are going to, have you all seen this book? Yeah. Wow. This is The Divine Flow of Abundance by Jan Lynch. And I have to tell you, I'm so inspired by Jan because I've got like 3 books that I haven't even written yet. They're written, but they're not in this beautiful format of a book, but they will be. You inspire me so much, Jan. And now looking at this book, right? Thank you. Looking at this book, the cover alone is like, I want it. Whatever's in there, must have, right? It's powerful. The Divine Flow of Abundance. And what she has done is she has 30 chapters. And each chapter in the beginning talks a little bit about Jan, which I loved getting to know you a little bit more, and Patrick and your journey. She's got an affirmation, a statement of spiritual truth, which is a quote, usually, and then an affirmative prayer to read twice daily. She's got one for each day. And so this book is going to be available for purchase after the service. And I'm following this book for this month, and I invite you to join me. It's just such a great way to tap into this principle of abundance, right? And to really connect with it. And so, again, that'll be available after service. Congratulations, Jan. This is so beautiful. And such a great demonstration, right? Of getting the call to do the book and then taking each step. I know it was a lot of work. Yeah. So beautiful. All right. So in conclusion, my friends, abundance is the cause, the inner thing, and prosperity is the effect, the outer thing. And so we're called to never look at the visible supply, but to always look at the limitless riches in the formless substance and know they are coming to us as fast as we can receive and use them, right? Nobody, by cornering the visible supply, can prevent you from getting what is yours. I'm going to say that again. Nobody, by cornering the visible supply, can prevent us from getting what is ours. That means just because this person has so much doesn't mean we can't also. All of it is available to us. And so we're called to tune into the divine. If it were a radio station, it would be KGOD, and it's all spirit all the time, commercial free. I'm going to invite the musicians to come up now and prepare for the closing song. Before I go into prayer, I want to also remind you all about the YouTube channel. So we are at 88 subscribers now. Woo! Yeah. So we're looking for 12 more subscribers, and then we will be able to be youtube.com/awakeningways, or whatever the name's going to be, rather than /XYZ bracket 2. No. It'd be easier to direct people to our YouTube station. So 12 more, and we are set. And so let's take a deep breath. Oh, and join me in turning within. And I know that there is just a swimming of information right now. I'm so grateful for this divine swirl that is in this room, this energy that is moving. And in this moment, I'm grateful to know that Spirit is present within me, as me and through me, just as it is present in, as and through each one of us. And in this moment, I know and claim for us that we remember who we are. We've known who we are all along. We're now choosing to place our conscious, focused attention on that and believe it for ourselves. And as we do, we see a world that is flourishing. We see an abundance of love in our own lives and in the lives of all of our friends. We see an abundance of perfect health. We see an abundance of money in our bank accounts. We see an abundance of joy. We see an abundance of rest and peace and anything that is on your heart that you would love to experience more of. I know that that experience is here right now, because all that we desire is permeating this environment. The empty space all around us it's rich and fertile with all of the good that we seek. And so as Ernest Holmes said it, I know that good and more good is mine, and ever increasing good is mine. There is no limit to the good which is mine. Everywhere I go, I see this good, I feel it, I experience it. It crowds itself against me, flows through me, expresses itself in me, and multiplies itself all around me. And I am grateful for this and so much more. I am so grateful for all of the blessings that I've had in my life on the way, all the way up to this moment now. And I'm grateful for the invisible blessings that are on the way, those blessings that I didn't even know were coming. And I'm grateful that they're already on their way, whatever they are. It's so wonderful, and this life is such a precious gift, and I give thanks for all of it. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to know that as we go forward from here, we see abundance, we experience abundance, and feel that presence of love so much more than ever before. God is so good in my life, and I am grateful, and so it is. Yay!
Away over yonder is a place that I know, where I can find shelter from my hunger and cold. The sweet tasting good life is so easily found. Away over yonder get there. The first thing I'll see is the sun shining golden, sun shining golden, shining right down on me. Well, then trouble's gonna lose me, worry leave me behind, and I'll stand up proudly in true peace of mind. Way over yonder is a place I have seen in a garden of wisdom. Garden of wisdom. Some long ago dream. Well, maybe tomorrow I'll find my way to the land where the honey runs. The land where the honey runs. And the rivers each day. And the sweet taste of good life is so easily found. Away over yonder, that's where I'm bound. Away over yonder, that's where I'm bound.
Beautiful. Wow. All right. Let's see here. Where are we? Okay, so, oh yes, would the ushers please come forward? Thank you. Come on up. Oh, thank you so much for your service. It's now time for our gifts, tithes, and offerings and conscious giving. And so for those of you tuning in on Zoom, there is a PayPal link. There's a PayPal link on our homepage. If you go to awakeningways.org, you can find the donate on the menu and go into there for the PayPal button. And if this service has inspired you in any way, we invite you to please consider making a donation. All right, we have the affirmation. I invite you to please repeat after me or with me. Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Joyously I give, and joyfully I receive. And so it is.
Divine love flows through me, blessing Blessing all I give. Divine love flows through me. Blessing all I give. Divine love flows through me. Blessing all I give. Divine love flows through me. Blessing all I give. Divine love flows through me. Blessing all I give.
We are so grateful for these gifts of our abundance, of our love, of our service. For these gifts create our sanctuary, our place of peace. And for that I am so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. That is our prayer.
Thank you. All right. We have Sonia and the youth coming. Woo! Don't you do a foot stomp or something?
Morning. So this is Liam here. Absolutely fantastic. We went on a abundance walk. We stayed in our moments. We had beautiful conversations. We looked at the abundance that life brings us all around. We did go look to see how our turtle family is doing because we care so much. And we couldn't find them, but we found some big, beautiful birds that put on a nice little show for us as well. So we had a beautiful time. And Liam has our affirmation for today.
I cherish the abundance of happiness that each day brings me. I am grateful for everything I have in my life.
Yes.
So yes, thank you very much.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Hi. I am here with a new hat on today, which is your announcements. So the first one, we want to remind people who already know this, or let you know if you don't know this, that we have a wonderful fundraiser happening right now. And so it is called the Ragged Point Fundraiser. And the winner of this raffle will receive $500 towards a beautiful stay at Ragged Point Inn. And then also, in addition, a $300 gift card to spend on whatever you like. The tickets are $10 for one, or if you want 13 tickets, you can spend $100. So your chances increase with more tickets, but as we learned today, one ticket can send you to Ragged Point. Correct? Okay. When you put it in the thing, say a little affirmation when you put it in the little box there. So Betty and Jan will be in the back to take your money, or happily take your money. Or you can go to our website at awakeningways.org, and you can click on the raffle button, and you can purchase tickets right through the internet. We will be having a Sunday service on Halloween, October 31st, and that's when we're going to pull that ticket. And you don't have to be here for that, so don't worry. Also, we are having an open house and a holiday shopping opportunity this coming Friday, October 8th, at our office. Our office is located at 7350 El Camino Real. It's right next to the Habit. I almost called it the Hobbit. It's that place that smells like hamburgers. It's right next door. And the time is from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. All of the books and gifts will be 50% off. And all that we ask is that you either bring cash or a check. So we don't want to use credit cards for this purchase. And it'll be a great time for you to see our beautiful office if you have not seen it before, and to start that holiday shopping. On Wednesdays every week, we have a midweek spiritual check-in with Reverend Elizabeth on Zoom. I've participated in that, and it's fabulous. It's intimate. It's lovely. You know, you think about it, when you come to a Sunday service, you listen and you take it in and you visit, but you don't speak. This is a chance to say something and have people hear you. It's lovely. So that happens every Wednesday at 1 o'clock p.m., and the Zoom link will be sent out to email on Tuesdays. So on that subject, if you're not getting our emails, we want to get your email address. And there's a form that you can fill out at the front table that looks like this, where you can put your name and your email address, and then you'll get all of the emails that we send out for everything that's happening with Awakening Ways. Now, my favorite subject is prayer. This spiritual community absolutely knows the power of prayer. No doubt about it. And so we have a soul support team that is mighty. 13 people on that team that are honored to pray for you for the entire week. So there's several ways that you can request prayer. One of them is to fill out one of these forms over here and put it in the little box. You can do that. And we will pray for you all week long for your request. You can also send a prayer request via email to awakeningways@thegrid.net. Just put prayer request in the subject line so we be sure to get right on that for you. There's business cards on the table if you would like to meet with one of the practitioners or ministers to do a little bit of soul diving. We're here for you to do that. And then our practitioner of the day, Linda, will be available in the lobby there for a 3-minute miracle. So there's lots of ways to receive prayer from us. And I believe those are the announcements. Be sure to pick up Jan's book, though. It's at the back.
Yes, all right. Thank you, Susan. Welcome back. Okay, it's now time for us to circle up. Yeah. Sit down, stand up, circle up. Big circle, huh? What?
I'll leave your hands alone.
Okay. Oh, yeah, right. Here comes Barbara and Kelly. Yeah. Oops, she didn't hear you. All right, wow, big circle. So won't you know with me that you are never alone, that God is where you are right now and always, and all that we ever need do is turn within, and it is here we will find we are guided, sustained, directed, and inspired by a source that knows only good. Joyously let us make use of these gifts in all that we think, in all that we say, and in all that we do. Please repeat after me. Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
Something wonderful is happening as me right now.
It is this thing called life.
It is this thing called life.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my body.
Life is in my mind.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is in my pocketbook.
Life is in my relationships.
Life is in my relationship.
Life is everywhere.
Life is everywhere.
I think it.
I think
I
it.
feel it.
I feel it.
I believe it.
I believe it.
I express it.
I express it.
I accept it.
I accept it.
Just the way that it is.
Just the way that it is.
And just the way that it is not.
Just the way that it is not.
Thank you, life.
Thank you, life.
Woo!
Glory. May I be